So as the world watches for Vladimir Putin's next moves in Ukraine, my next guest says that when it comes to U.S. claims that Putin has been misinformed by advisors about just how badly the Russian military is doing, there is, quote, no bigger insult to Putin, who of course was once a KGB agent himself. So joining me now, Russia and cybersecurity expert Dmitry Alperovich. Dmitry, good to have you on this morning.
Thank you.
First, I want to begin with your sense of the situation on the battlefield right now, because you do have evidence that Russian forces, at least for now, redeploying from around Kyiv to the east and southern parts of the country. But you have President Putin now announcing a draft, presumably to send more forces into Ukraine. Do you view this as a short-term tactical shift by Russia to the east and the south, or longer-term shrinkage of Russian ambitions in Ukraine?
No, I think there's no question that they have to shrink their ambitions. They know they can't take Kiev. They know they can't occupy the whole country. Their forces are exhausted. Most of their ground forces have been committed to Ukraine, so they have to rotate them out. The draft is not going to help in the short term. Most of these conscripts need to be trained before they're sent in to fight. So he's going to have a real problem on his hands, and he needs to shrink the ambitions just to the Donbass, and even that is in question whether he can actually take that whole area.
A fascinating aspect of this war from the beginning has been the information aspect of this. One piece of that has been the U.S. Releasing so much intelligence about Russian planning prior, about Russian plans for false flag attacks to kind of undermine Russian information operations. Now we have the Defense Department declassifying, in effect, intelligence about what senior advisors are telling or not telling Vladimir Putin. And you say this is a fascinating strategy. Tell us why.
It has been absolutely remarkable to watch this. The fact that we're declassifying some of the most sensitive intelligence we probably have, learning what the advisors are telling Putin. Imagine the type of access that we have to know that, and frankly, the sources and methods that we're putting at risk to do that. But it is messing with his head. As I said, there's no bigger insult to a KGB officer, former KGB officer, than to tell him that he's misinformed about his own military and his own war. Even calling him a butcher, he probably considers that some sort of twisted praise. But calling him misinformed, he's really upset about that.
Does not want to be called dumb, certainly. Another thing that many of us, and I know yourself as well, have been watching is how the Russian public is reacting to this. Now, we have to grant that it's a largely closed information environment. They don't see the facts, certainly on Russian media, and so much has been chased out of the country, the few independent outlets remaining. There's a new poll from the Russian independent pollster Levada, which has had some accuracy in terms of measuring Russian public opinion in the past, and it shows that Putin's support has actually increased since the start of the invasion. And I wonder how you read those numbers. Do you believe that's an accurate reflection of Russian public opinion?
I do believe it. I think you have sort of rallying around the flag effect that's taking place right now, closing ranks to consolidate around the president, the wartime president, for many Russians. The propaganda, of course, is in full swing, touting not just the Russian successes on the battlefield, alleged successes, but also touting the fact that Ukrainians are building nuclear weapons and have biolabs, all the nonsense that they're pushing out. And many people are believing it.
Yeah. Russia has a history of hiding or attempting to hide or punishing people for acknowledging military losses, including families who've lost their sons in war. The Russian personnel losses are off the charts in this war. Even the low-end estimates already outpace U.S. losses in Iraq and Afghanistan combined in 20 years, and it's already approaching Russian losses in Afghanistan in its invasion in the 1980s over the course of nearly a decade here. Can Putin hide those losses from the Russian people?
No, and they've tried in the past to classify the losses, to tell the parents that if they disclose that their sons have died in wars, that they will be prosecuted under revelations of state secrets. But you can't hide something this massive, particularly when you have general officers that have been killed. But the problem, of course, is that propaganda is working. You hear from parents of dead soldiers saying that they believe that their sons have died for a righteous cause. So it's not yet having a corrosion effect and an impact on Putin's popularity.
퇴직연금 1등 공신은 고개를